Hey guys, I got an amazing game to show you. I'm pretty sure you've seen so many games, but probably most of you have never seen anything like this because I made it my opponent using the Passant. But it was way better and way more attractive than that. I played a blitz game. It was on Chess.com. And I played against candidate master Shuvalov. So let's go and let's begin because it's really fantastic. And I'd like to hear your feedback about the quality of this game and how do you see the opening. It was French Winawer, the queen sacrifice that I made, also checkmate with en passant, and also the fact that the game only lasted 20 moves. So let's go. It was a 3-minute game. Happened on 3rd of April 2025. I was white, and let me just show you. I played e4. My opponent Shuvalov played e6. That guy on chess.com is 2750 rated. At that time, we both were rated around 2670. And I just opted for my favorite blitz move, e4. I played d4, d5, played knight c3, and as you know, in my opinion, Tarrasch is the most solid. Knight d2, a third move. Third move, e5, at once became very popular lately, and it's the second most common approach against the French. Well, I absolutely think that playing moves such as knight c3 is the best way to look for the advantage. Anyway, I played knight c3 and he played Winawer line with the bishop b4. Don't have any kind of doubts that if he went for nothing else but knight f6, I would have gone with my favorite e5, knight f to d7, queen h5 line. You know what? I used to call it Helden, but you know what? I'm the highest rated guy. Whoever used this opening in a tournament game, that's one thing. And second thing, I'm the guy who played almost, not hundreds, but thousands of games with the queen h5, with 78% of winning score for white, and also the whole, this Serbian team and these GMs, including Ivanišević, and others, they now started to play and win their games in Blitz and Title Tuesdays. Anyways, my opponent went for bishop b4, and I played line that I very much like and enjoy. It's queen to d3. If you remember, I actually covered this queen d3 line in one of my videos, and I believe it's an old move used by maybe a long time ago by Romanishin, but actually Johnny Hector, attractive and very aggressive GM from Sweden, who has a very nice attacking style and also very resourceful when it comes to the openings, he played the queen to d3. I played queen to d3, and my initial point is that if they take on e4, I want to take by queen, in which case when they play knight f6, my queen goes on h4. And in the case of anything else, I just want to capture by queen and keep the healthy pawn structure if possible, keeping the bishop here on the board. My opponent went for knight f6, which is kind of a mix between Winawer and Steinitz variation with knight f6. I played e5, he played knight to e4. On knight to d7, I would have gone with a queen g3, but just like I said, if you want to know more about this variation and secrets of this line, go on my channel, find the variation fourth move queen d3 against the French, and enjoy. Good luck. After knight e4, I just said, okay, not a big deal, let me just win the bishop pair. I was expecting, to be honest with you, bishop c3, b takes c3, c5, which is absolutely the best, in which case I would have gone with knight e2, threatening f3, winning the knight, because if knight g5, I would have gone with h4, so I just want to chase this knight away and win it. Although my opponent played bishop a5. It didn't, and it did surprise me. It didn't surprise me because he just doesn't want to give up the bishop pair. And it makes a perfect sense. Okay, he just wants to play like a normal game, like the normal things here with keeping that bishop and keeping the intensity on the game. While at the same time, it surprised me because I definitely think that the bishop c3, b takes c3, and c5 is more proper reaction. Although, after knight e2, where we threaten f3 to win this knight, with the bishop pair advantage, I definitely prefer white's position. He played at bishop a5 and instantly played b4. And I'll be honest with you, I only remember that if he goes back with the bishop, I cannot take on e4 because then we're losing the pawn on d4, and I wouldn't play that, of course. They can play queen to d4, and black equalizes very easily. I would have gone with knight f4, win the bishop pair, even though it's a bad bishop. But here I just want to stabilize my pawn structure with c3, play knight a2, kick the knight away with f3, and somehow be able to take advantage of the bishop pair. So I said, okay, let's go with that, and let's go with this system. My opponent, when I played this move, went with knight takes c3. That kind of shocked me, and I immediately liked my position. I immediately liked my position because I said I like when in Winawer variation things get messy. Here engine says play queen c3, and after bishop e6 play queen to g3. That's one of the main ideas of transferring your queen onto the king side, playing queen g3, going after the g7, and after king f8, c3, locking up the dark square bishop and going knight f3, bishop d3, and keep the bishop open on c1, don't play f4 just like that. Maybe h4, h5, h6 as well. And after he took on c3, I took on a5. Okay. I enjoy when in Winawer positions I win the bishop pair, and I don't care at a cost of a healthy pawn structure. Once Nigel Short says, who cares about the pawn and pawn structure, pawns and pawn structures, we only care about the king and the mate. And that's a good point. So here, after b takes a5, I was expecting once again knight e4, in which case I would have gone with knight e2 and once again harass this knight on e4, but he played knight a4. You know, like keeping this knight on the edge of the board, it should be fine for us. And I said, okay, knight a4, it's a good thing. Our queen anyways goes on g3 with tempo. They can't go castles because of bishop h6, and worst case scenario, we at least win the exchange. Not to mention that they're weakening the dark squares. Maybe we're not even forced to take it, and maybe to play h4, h5, bishop d3, and second g6. So my opponent went for king f8, which, to be honest with you, I expected. And then I played the move in typical my style. I just said, okay, I got a bishop pair. He's got a weak king in the center. It's maybe time to go with h4, h5, and h6 and break on the dark squares. And that's what I did. He played h6. He anyways should go with h6, or let's say would have gone with h6 once I play h5. So I played h5, and now he played c5. A general rule that I actually teach my students is when in Winawer they play c5, one of the best continuations is to take on c5 by pawn, and somehow to open up the game for your bishops, because they do not have the bishop pair. That's one thing. And from another point of view, they have a weak king. So the fact that we possess the bishop pair, especially dark square bishop, that they have problems on the dark squares, and on top of all that, weak king on f8, that actually tells me that we should be going with the take c5. My opponent played queen a5. I saw that, and I said, okay, you know, like when you play your blitz games, you're always familiar with this cheap tactical tricks. I analyzed up to this moment, not analyzed, but I mean, I could have imagined in my thoughts that after queen a5, I just go with bishop, and after queen c5, I would go with bishop b4, and I would win a very easy game on this cheap trick. And then one masterpiece wouldn't happen if he captured on c5. Luckily, he didn't capture and played queen c7. And I said, okay, let's go with rook h4 because involving my rook onto the king side like this, I'm threatening knight with tempo, and I want to place my rook on g4 primarily, and maybe on f4 if I need to go after the weak king. He played bishop d7, and something clicked in my mind, and I said, ooh, this could be a very good chance for me to come up with something. And I said, okay, let's go with c6. And I played c6, where if he captures by pawn, I'm taking the knight. If he captures by knight, I'm taking the knight on a4. So he captured by bishop. And there we go. So with this game, you're going to learn one extremely interesting attacking system against the French Winawer. And I know how much you hate Winawer. Don't worry about that. And basically, another thing, you're about to see a beautiful, almost a masterpiece game and the combination. I played bishop before. The guy went king g8. If he goes king e8, I go queen g7, and the rook cannot be defended. Of course, he went king g8, and there we go. I can give you, you can pause the video, and you can ask yourself here, Maya asks us, what should we play here? And yes, guys, pause the video, take your time, and tell me, can you find the whole combination? Da-da-da-da. Here, I made one of the most beautiful combinations that I ever made in Blitz games. I played queen takes g7. What a beautiful queen sack on the game. And when he played on queen g7, king g7, I played rook g4. He cannot go with the king here because of the pawn and the bishop. When he went here, I saw check. And when he played f5, this is what I told you. You won't find too many games, not online, but in the history of chess with the checkmate like this. E takes f6, en passant, and this was actually checkmate. Hope that you enjoyed in this game. The game took place on chess.com like a month ago, and I really wanted to share it with you. Have a good one, enjoy your time, and see you in London during the World Blitz and Rapid, where I'm going to represent Chessbra TV team. All the best. Bye-bye.